welcome back to Love from a Leo. So today's video is going to be the relationship between the Leo and Aries. With the Leo card, issue that they're having with the Aries is food and hunger. So this isn't literally food and hunger. This is more about feeling like they don't have enough. They feel like they maybe have to save. They feel like maybe there's not enough of the Aries to make them feel stable. So think of it as if you grew up without having food a lot. Whenever you got older, once you're, on your feet, on your own and things, you may hoard food because that's just kind of like a fear that you've associated with food. So it could be the same thing with the love relationship. If you felt like you were never done right in the past, if you had issues with love, if you were never taught how to love, you could think that whoever you get with, no matter how much they actually love you, won't be there in the end. You feel like you can never have enough of this person. So that could cause a lot of toxic kind of addictions with this person, or just emotional attachments that may not always be in the best interest for either people in the situation. The issue that the Aries is having with Leo is vows. So there could be prior obligations and prior vows that this Aries has taken on, and it's causing issues with the Leo. I do feel like the vows that have been set by the Aries, and they are sticking to it. And so this may cause kind of like not being able to be flexible within a relationship. And so that can cause a lot of friction, especially dealing with the Leo, who is fixed fire. And then, they're both fire signs. So we have to see how this dynamic can actually work out in terms of moving forward, progressing, and feeling whole around each other, because I feel like both of them feel like someone's out to get them for some reason. Okay, so let's do a past, present, and future format. Future for Leo and Aries. Okay, so in the past, the energy that was here for you guys was Seven of Pentacles in reverse. So this could mean a number of things. This is actually something that I don't get very often when it comes to love. So it's basically saying that this is a situation that you may have not put a lot of work into. It could be a fresh relationship, or it's something that isn't or wasn't in the past. It wasn't like a huge part of your everyday life. Meaning this could have been someone that you just talked to every now and then. Maybe this was like an on again, off again type of situation. But this wasn't something that was concrete in the beginning of things or in the past. It could have been that you guys were just friends and it progressed to something else, but you never thought it would, you never thought you would even have to put much effort into the relationship because you never saw it getting there. Why is the Seven of Pentacles in reverse? This Two of Swords in reverse. So this is a situation where you didn't really put much thought into it at all. I think that you kind of were just going with the flow. You could have been sloppy about it, either one of you. And I feel like this is a situation where it was just like about fun. It was all fun. Having two fire signs obviously can always be a lot of fun. I don't think that it was taken serious, at least in the past. It wasn't taken serious until it was time. Yeah, Six of Pentacles in reverse is saying like the balance of the give and take wasn't the main issue. It wasn't like the main topic of the situation. It wasn't something that was built on stability in that way. Now, it could have been stable in a sense that you guys really enjoyed being around each other, but I don't feel like this is something that started off as something that they planned on going into the future with. It was just something that ended up happening. With the Sun card in reverse, it could be saying that the Leo was the one who was kind of taking their time to commit, or taking their time with investing all of their energy into this relationship. And it could have simply been because the Leo just didn't have much hope and love with the Moon card here. They probably just felt like, secrets will always be there. Maybe they had issues with trust. And I feel like they weren't in the space or mindset in the past to really see something come out of this and actually blossom into love, or whatever the case may be. So when we move to the present energy of the Leo and Aries dynamic, we do have the Strength card. So again, Leo is popping up, and I actually associate all the time, obviously the lion is Leo, but I always say that this is an Aries. So it's kind of interesting that you guys got this now. Now, the beauty about the Strength card, it's all about feeling protected. It could also even indicate health for many people. And so I think that it's progressed into a situation where you guys actually feel comfortable and protected by each other. But I do feel like it's a situation where you guys are actually codependent on you, like feeding off of each other for strength and for confidence. And you know, you guys feel just more confident around each other when you go places, or you guys feel the need to be around each other to feel normal, to feel whole. So it kind of makes sense having the food and hunger card and the vows card. It's kind of like that deprivation that you guys had, it's being fulfilled by you guys being around each other, as you can see here, the Leo and the Aries. So I do actually like to see that. Why is the strength card coming up? What strength is being felt by either? Strength is being felt by the Leo. So you guys feel strongly about each other. You feel protected because you guys have left past thoughts in the past. At least I feel like the Leo has kind of let that go. And then the Five of Cups here is also saying that it seems like you guys let go of, you know, past issues. You let go of being sad, being kind of depressed, or whatever that emotion was that I feel like came from prior relationships in your life, even stemming from just childhood and just how people were treated growing up. I feel like you guys feel strong with each other now because you feel like you can let your burdens down around this person, even though you may still have those moments where you know, naturally go back to that type of energy. But I feel like you guys help each other through things like that. Now, what I am seeing with the Magician's card in reverse, I think sometimes you guys have an issue with stopping your own progression within the relationship. You know, it could be the Leo, maybe when they're not balanced, they can become very dramatic or just hard to communicate with. But it doesn't say anything about it being a particular thing. It's just more about maybe you guys are not moving forward because you're not using all of the tools around you, so to speak. So that's what the Magician card is in reverse. And it could just be because you guys are not speaking. A lot of times when we have the Queen of Swords, it's more about just not being open to talking. You're being very distant, you can be very cold, and going to different people around you to get information or to talk to. So for example, if you guys get in an argument, one of you seems like you'll go to someone else to talk to instead of going to the other person in your relationship to settle things. And so that can make the other person feel like, you know, not safe, not secure, they can't trust this person. Also kind of like insecure about them because they're like, okay, why can't they talk to me, especially if I'm in the relationship with them. I feel like you guys know this. And even if the person that is going to the other person, they're talking to their friend about situations, I feel like they know that this makes the other person mad. And I feel like they do this because it's a way to have dominance over the situation, but also because they just feel like, well, this person has been here for me, or this person will never do me dirty. And it's like this weird cycle of kind of just not being fully present in a relationship, but wanting a full present relationship with the Hierophant here. So yeah, just being really stuck on that type of situation. But because of all this happening, this prevents both of you from feeling able and ready to move to the future. We do have the Queen of Wands here. So both of you seem to be, this is, you know, it could represent both of you. And it seems like you guys are actually pretty decent people. I just feel like there's issues with this relationship, but at the same time, both of you are like, look, I'm standing up for this relationship. I put my foot down for this relationship. And you're very adamant about the relationship that you have with this other fire sign. But I think it's leaning more towards the Leo that feels that way. They're very fixed on how and who they want. And we do have the Aries card here. It's almost like the Aries, they may not be as committed because I feel like they have prior commitments and obligations that they feel more strongly about. Or they just could have past issues with this Leo in regards to they don't know if they can fully put all of their trust into them because of how this Leo acts with them when they are not happy. So yeah, so let's see, how's the Leo showing up presently? Emperor. Okay, so the Leo definitely seems to be the dominant person in this relationship, whether it's a male or female. But we also have the King of Swords in reverse. So I feel like sometimes they can have so much authority in the relationship that they tend to manipulate a lot of things, and communication is not their strong suit whenever they get to this like power hungry stage, or like whenever they feel like they know how they want something and there's no making them budge. You know what I'm saying? Like there's they're set in their ways. They are fixed fire, but it's almost like this Leo is like, I almost feel like they can do wrong, but you can't type of situation. Not to say if they are doing wrong, but it's like if they don't feel like it's wrong, it's not wrong to them. Now the Aries, how is the Aries showing up presently in this relationship? So the Aries is coming up as, you know, kind of nostalgic. They could, I feel like for some reason, I want to say that they think about their ex a lot. They could think about past relationships, or they want what they feel that they could have had in the past with you, because it wasn't so strict. It wasn't so dictatorish. I think it was more free for you guys because you guys had no real expectations on what it was to become. And so I feel like the Aries kind of wants that. They want to be able to get that type of love back, or that at least that energy back between the two of you. But they're comfortable in your situation. They're not trying to leave. I think they're happy with you. We do have the Ace of Cups here. So it seems as though they love you, or at least they feel very connected to you, and they don't want to leave. They don't want to leave. So when we move to the Eight of Swords, this is your future energy. Eight of Swords in reverse. It's actually a good thing. You guys are not feeling trapped in your relationship anymore. I think you're starting to see that there is a way to maneuver, to upgrade, to do different things in your relationship that can actually benefit it. And you're not feeling like, damn, I have no control over the situation, or having these thoughts that are not necessarily true about your relationship. So in what ways do they feel free in the future? So communication-wise, you guys do have that kind of hard conversation, and it sets both of you free. I think you realize what's not serving you anymore in the situation. Now, the only thing I am seeing about this is we have the Knight of Wands in reverse. So this could be a situation where you guys realize having that conversation, one of you will feel like the whole thing blew up in their face. And since both of you are both in a situation where you feel like you can't fully give yourself to the other person just because of your past issues that you have not dealt with, that can be very volatile for the situation, being that one person can feel like, see, this is what I was talking about, this is what I meant, this is why I never wanted to give my 100% to you. So what I would advise in the future, we do have the Hangman in reverse, well, upright, I'm sorry. So it's basically saying, don't jump the gun. When you're in this situation, especially dealing with two fire signs, it's just wise to try to tread lightly. Not to say that you need to just go with the flow and go with whatever the other person is saying, but make sure you're really being objective and observing everything that's actually happening and not jumping to conclusions, not thinking too far ahead. You have to be a little bit more present in the moment. Fire has the ability to be kind of in one way and then like gone in 2 seconds, because they're thinking so far ahead. They're thinking about how they can blaze to the future. And it's a little bit kind of like a situation where when you're thinking about the future, when you're thinking about just moving and going crazy and doing, creating, inspiring what you could have, you know, and knowing that people usually they gravitate towards you. With the Seven of Cups here, it's definitely saying that both of you or one of you feels like you have lots of options, lots of possibilities, but it doesn't mean that you can't have that within a relationship. Now with the Seven of Cups, it definitely does mean that one of you or both of you may be looking at things a little. Make sure you're looking at things clearly. That's what I'm trying to say. Make sure you're looking at things clearly in the situation. What I do like about the Seven of Cups when it comes to relationships, when it comes to love, that's a card where you're feeling very, very high emotions for a person, and it's a romantic. You can enjoy the relationship, but try not to get too washed away in the current. Remember, try to stay current in the present with the love, and realize that this is someone or something that can, you know, help you transition to the future, if you allow it to. Now, it does say that you guys have, you know, issues with controlling your emotions. That's, you know, pretty common with fire signs. So you need to make sure whenever you get into this conversation, or whenever you start talking about things that may be tough, or whenever you start talking about things that maybe the other fire sign doesn't want to talk about, you need to make sure that you're really evaluating and making the right judgment. Is this the right time to make this move? Like just checking in with yourself. I feel like that's missing. It's like being in the situation, I feel like it's a situation that you never know how it's going to end up because you just don't know. It's a situation where you just literally go with the flow, but in a way that it's like you still need to be present and check in and make sure that things are going according to according to some form of plan, some moral, some outline of what you see. It doesn't have to fit the details so to speak, but it's like it still needs to follow some format of structure, because it started off without structure and moved into a situation where you guys love each other, need each other, but at the same time, it's like there's still times where it's not really a fair situation, and it could be for either parties. It's almost like one of you feels a certain way, the other one feels another way, and you won't deal with it, or you will deal with it in a way that's not healthy. So then it adds on to all of the issues that come in the future, and all of those issues add on to why you can't fully give yourself, because you're thinking about the past. So it's like you're never in the future, you're never in the present. You're either in the past thinking about things, or in the future trying to think about what you can have. And so you're never present in the situation. So let's see, should you guys stay together in this relationship? We have the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. So you could stay in the situation. It doesn't say that this is like the perfect path, but at the same time, I do think that you could learn to find the blessing in the situation, but it isn't necessarily like the set soul path that you are destined to have, but it is like a part of that journey. Does that make sense? We do have the Temperance card here. So it will provide some sense of balance for you, and that's really good in life. But when you have a situation in a love sense where you have temperance, it really means that you will learn a lot about yourself and also the other person. So, you know, that's a good thing. And then we have the Ace of Wands in reverse. So it could be a time where things may have to stop. This is a situation where it's not going to be smooth sailing all the time, just because of how you guys are set up, and just because I do feel like this is a situation where it's like a battle of the fires, and so you do have to learn how to deal with certain things and how to react, and it's like it's going to teach you a lot about yourself. And if you guys are mature enough to do that, then by all means stay in it, but there has to be progression. If you are not seeing progression and you're seeing that you're going backwards, that's a problem, especially if you know that things were not this bad in the beginning. You know, I feel like you guys have a way of tearing each other down, but you can build each other. It's just a matter of, are you going to do it? So you have to think about that in terms of your relationship. If you would like to have a deeper sense of your specific relationship, and I mean with moon signs, you know, the charts and everything like that, so I can really see if this is meant to be, email me at lovefromaaleo@gmail.com. and we can definitely get one going for you. Lots of people have been getting their private readings, and I think it's really, really helping that I'm doing these videos for you guys, because I think it's setting things into stone for you guys. Don't forget to drop down below in the comments what 2 signs that you would like to see next for this relationship series that I'm doing. And yeah, I'm Love from a Leo. If I'm not your favorite Leo, then one day I will be. And until next time, my Leo and Aries, I will see you very, very soon, babe. Bye.